Welcome, everybody, to today's 1 million by 1 million public roundtable. Uh, we've been doing this for a long, long time. This is our 102nd roundtable. And as you know, the 1 million by 1 million initiative aims to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and 10 million jobs or beyond, and also add up to $1 trillion in global GDP. So, now Maureen, I'm not able to move the slides. Okay, here we go. This recording, this roundtable is being recorded, so if you will be able to access it after the show, and also if you're live tweeting, you can use the hashtag 1M1M. The first presenter today is Michael J. Trout. He's in Fukui, Japan, and we were talking right before we started about some differences in the Japanese culture. His wife is Japanese, and the Western culture. So, Michael, if you could unmute your line and tell us about FoundUps.
Hi. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you having this opportunity. My story, real quick, is in 1995, I launched the Shakespeare Festival, and it attracted 30,000 people. I was a college student, and in all respects, it shouldn't have happened. I had no experience, no background, no resume, but I was able to pull off an event, and for 15 years, it's bugged me. And what I realized is the problem is the startup and the systematic framework that we're applying, to the process. So FoundUps is the first open incubator and the first open corporation that anyone can join. We are C Corp, we're incorporated in Delaware, and I invite anyone who does meaningful work earns equity. So anyone who contributes earns equity, right? So, and I'm doing it through, trying something completely different from the current framework. So, if I don't know how to move the slides forward here.
I'll move the slides.
If I say next slide, sorry, I'm here trying to talk and click and having problems. So basically, the simple fact is startups fail. And the dirty secret is over 99% of pre-seed startups cannot, don't make it to become seeded. Seeded is my term for early stage. It's the private. It basically is the point where the VCs and the private placement takes place. Early stage is what commonly termed. The solution is kind of like an open source, or Wikipedia is a completely open collaborative framework where we all jump in, and there's the term being thrown out there called Enterprise 2.0, and I've taken it somewhat further in the sense that I've actually broken down a startup into 7 levels. You level up, you have a systematic process of going through and meeting specific mitigating milestones to get to that seed stage. And most of my startups, I've gotten to like level 4, level 5 in the process. And I'm only seeing like 2. I don't see the bottom part of the slide. I don't know if other people see the bottom part, but I'm only seeing the top 2. So next slide. So unlike the startup whose customer, Deo did a big post from the founding saying that, the peak age for startup is 25 years old. Our process is a framework in which I believe a high school senior, even a high school student, all the way up to retiree can follow the systematic. And I have videos on FoundUps TV where I talk about the very specific steps. Now, I have everything under NDA because ultimately I believe a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is patentable, but I don't have the money to patent, as we all don't, right, as a bootstrapping. So I'm trying to protect IP, by at least doing a mutually binding, NDA, and then I give full access to the process. Next slide. So right now, if you go to foundups.org, instead of setting up a website, since LinkedIn is the Mac Daddy of locations, I'm just using the corporate site of LinkedIn. People join. I have about 30 people who have joined the Open Incubator or joined FoundUps from all different backgrounds. I've got over 100 videos up where I critique sites. I talk about technology that people, like the skill set that I've learned. A good one is if you've got a Google email and you're not using a Google alias, you're missing out. For Gmail, crowdsourcing. I've got some partners in China and in Europe and Greece. I don't know how they're doing. I haven't talked to them since the riots. And I spent a little money on marketing, so far. So next slide. So I've got 3 paying customers. My paying customers are this. If you Google FoundUps or you Google Michael Trout, I'm all over the web. Okay, I would say I'm an SME in crowdsourcing, and also basically getting, I'm like the cannonball scatter approach. And FoundUps is about crowdsourcing, not networking. Networking, most people don't understand the difference between the two. But if someone says, you know what, I don't have the time, I want you to set up everything, sure, I'll do it for $500 a year. I'll manage your Twitter. I'll set up everything. I'll do all the work that you need to do. I've got 17 startups trying our open incubator. I want to get to over 100. And we're running, OIF will work on any social media site, even though you won't find me on LinkedIn because I've been a bad boy and it's kind of blacklisted me. And I don't want to go into that, but I've got some videos on it, but they're kind of funny. Next slide. And I built WikiTube TV as a prototype that I built last year. I recruited developers, everything else, got it up. We had, just to give you really quick, we had streaming video before YouTube. We had playlists before YouTube. And I tried to create a partnership with YouTube, and all of a sudden, everything that I was saying, hey, look at what we have, let's partner, all of a sudden, from 2009 till now, you see all this stuff, and even some of the stuff that I described for WikiTube is now coming in, like Mashable videos and other stuff.
Michael, what does it mean that you secured 3 paying customers? How much are they paying, and what are they getting in return of paying?
Yeah, well, my customers, basically, I set up their social media. So I handle social media FoundUps do social media very differently. We don't treat our identity as an individual. We treat our identity as a FoundUp. So like on Facebook, I have a FoundUps on Facebook. On LinkedIn, that's what got me in trouble. I had over 15 FoundUps as accounts, right? And networking and crowdsourcing their product to, I can get 1,000 LinkedIn members signed up. I have a hack to do that, right? So what I do for them is I set up their social network so they don't have to. So if they want to basically get out there and start crowdsourcing their idea, their project, I can do that. But it takes time, so I charge $500, for that, and it's for a year. So I'll maintain it and basically set that up for them.
The service you're providing has nothing to do with entrepreneurship. It is to do with social media marketing.
No, it's OIF is a systematic process, and I got the videos, and you can do it yourself, or you can pay us, and we'll do it for you. So it's like, this is what you do for level 1, X, Y, and Z, right? Level 2, and so on. So if you don't want to go through it yourself,
listen to my question, Michael. This is very, very important for your positioning. Are you this videos that you're training people on, or services that you're providing to your customers? Are they about training people on entrepreneurship, or are they about training people on social media marketing or outsourcing their social media marketing to you?
It's training them on social media marketing, not on entrepreneurship. It's like, this is how you use Google. This is how you do this.
Completely wrong. Then your positioning is completely off. And you have to fix that.
Okay.
Because then competitive landscape is very different. What you're offering is very different. Whom you compete with versus who you partner with is very different.
Okay. So, all right. Next slide. So, basically, I have a process, and if it's right, and we can lower if the systematic framework works, the outcomes could be as big as open source, I believe. And you were talking earlier about the whole Occupy movement. FoundUps become open corporations, similar to FoundUps, and the whole idea is to eliminate the need of the VC and the angel investor by open corps actually investing 20 to 80% back into new open corps. So the idea is that we don't need VCs. Every time a successful company launches, 20 to 80% of net profits are going to go back into launching more companies. So the scalability of that is exponential, because as you launch more and more companies.
I don't believe this is going to work at all.
Well, FoundUp's, if we launch, our thing is investing 80% back. So,
what I'm telling you is it's not going to work, because nobody is going to finance you to start this company. You're going to have to bootstrap it yourself. This 100K that you are looking for to launch, I don't think anybody is going to fund this project at this stage.
Okay.
So and part of the reason
no one funded
is you're not doing what you're saying you're doing. Your positioning is completely off.
All right. Okay.
But try to understand what I'm saying, Michael. Don't dismiss the whole point of why Mike Snyder sent you to me is to understand why and why why things are going slow for you. It's because you are not stating your value proposition clearly. Your value proposition is you do outsource social media marketing, or you have some videos and whatever to train people to do social media marketing. That has nothing to do with open corporation and founding startups and investing back into the companies. You're overcomplicating matters so much that you're confusing your customers. I don't think your customers don't even understand what the hell you're talking about.
Well, everything we're offering is free. So I'm just saying, if someone, the whole process of OIF is free. So I don't count, the money that's come in, I don't really count. You say they're customers. It's just some revenue. I see there is,
are you doing
like
a
I mentioned,
is this a nonprofit?
No, I don't. I have a master's degree in nonprofits. Nonprofits are a dinosaur. You don't need nonprofits, in my opinion.
If you're not doing a nonprofit and you do not have, and if you do not have a business model and you do not have customers, you do not have revenues, you do not have profits, then you don't have a business. Free is not a business model.
That was 1995 open source. I'm there, right? This is it's hard. It's a paradigm shift in regards to, it's hard to explain in 3 minutes and put 2 years worth of research and work.
You can't explain it in 3 minutes because you do not have it clear in your head. I will tell you what the open source business model is. The open source business model is a freemium business model. You get some things for free and the other things are premium paid services. That's our products. That's how open source works. We have tons of open source case studies that we teach in 1 million by 1 million. We understand open source inside out.
So could you not have a corporate version of open source in the sense that
there are tons of corporate versions of open source. There are many commercial open source corporations. If you look up my writings on the topic, I have written extensively on these subjects.
Okay.
So commercial open source is a completely viable model, but it operates on a simple assumption that there's a portion of the offering that is free, and then there's a portion of the offering that is paid. And from what I've heard so far, you are charging for social media marketing to some of your customers, and that is potentially your premium offering.
Right.
And your free offering, listen to me, please listen to me. The free portion of the offering is also about social media marketing. So I just do not understand what open crowdfunding and open corporation doing here. This is all completely all over the place.
But it's a complete framework. So I can talk about each of them for 3 minutes.
It is not a complete framework. It is very badly positioned company. Do not justify this by saying that is the framework, because I have too much experience in this business.
Let's take the second part. On the fun. There's a company, or I used to work for, called National Community Development Services. You can go to their website, and they have a fundraising framework that has raised $1.6 billion for strategic initiatives. Now, there's no reason why the same framework could not work for startups.
This is a different business. That business, there are plenty of competitors in that business. This is why I told you, you need to position your business and see who is a competitor, who is a partner. So you talked about social media marketing as one of your premium services. Now you're talking about crowdfunding. There are tons of companies. We see companies coming here and pitching all the time who are crowdfunding startups.
It's not crowdfunding. It's a strategic initiative capital campaign. It's not crowdfunding. And the way that crowdfunding is being done, I was a capital campaign director. The way crowdfunding is being handled is completely wrong. And I've spent, and I've raised quite a bit of money crowdfunding. Not 100,000, but but the system that National Community Development Services has is a strategic initiative, and I outline it. If you in the talk that you can go and watch the presentation. So I agree with you, but I would just want to say that just to end that in 1995, open source did not have a business model. Okay, they did not, and no one invested in them, and no one got behind that. And I'm just saying, I am where they were. I'm not sure. I'm trying to pull all these pieces together. I know that I may be seeing this massive picture, and you're trying to say, pull it, into one component. But I know that what I'm doing is the future for the corporation, and it is the future for startups, because right now startups are not scalable, right? I was even listening to you beforehand. Adeo is saying that. And we need to have an open, collaborative version for launching startups that takes away from Silicon Valley, takes away from the need for angel investors, these accredited investors, and these VCs. And I believe I have a framework that can do that. And if I have a little funding, I can prove it. I know I can prove it. But my problem is I'm a starving teacher here.
Here's a very simple, quick primer on funding. Nobody funds anything that is not proven today. That is just the way funding works.
Right. I understand. Wikipedia, that's Jimmy Wells is a nonprofit. Why? Because no one would fund him. And the same goes for everyone laughed at open source. You remember? You were there. So everyone laughs at me. I'm just another one of those crazy guys. That's all.
Okay.
So thanks for the feedback.
You're welcome. I just don't get what you're trying to do.
Well,
all right.
I've got a book. Maybe if you read the book.
All right. Let's move on to Soren. Soren, are you on the phone?
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Good morning, everyone. My name is Soren Harrison. I'm the CEO and founder of Soul Solution. On the left of our slide, you can see our team of 6 in our Boston office, and that's me on the right. Please do feel free to connect on LinkedIn. Happy to help anyone however I can. My background is as a scientist and engineer and kind of gone entrepreneur. So Soul Solution is a nonprofit social enterprise that adapts a well-vetted for-profit business model to enable significant impact at schools in the United States. The 100,000 schools across the nation spend over $5 billion every year on electricity. And at Soul Solution, we want to shift those dollars back into the classroom where we believe they belong. So what we do is install solar panels at schools and then reinvest what would normally be profits back into low-income schools and focus on some educational offerings with partners around solar energy, STEM education, and clean tech entrepreneurship. Next slide, please. So significant barriers exist that prevent schools from adopting solar power. Schools don't have the capital to cover the upfront costs. They don't have the expertise to plan, execute, or operate the solar project. And they don't have the ability to take advantage of federal tax incentives for solar power. And that's where Soul Solution comes in. So we finance the entire cost of the system to design, procure, install, operate, and maintain the solar arrays at the school site. And we leverage all of the federal and state incentives for solar power, including those that are tax-based. So with Soul Solutions, what we call an Educational Power Purchase Agreement, our EPPA, schools only have to do 2 things to go solar. They lease their roof space to us where we install the solar panels, and then they pay us for the electricity generated by the solar array. And that's it. It's that easy, and their savings start immediately on day one. Next slide, please. So Soul Solutions target customers are K through 12 schools in the United States. They can be segmented into private schools and public school districts. At private schools, of which there are fewer smaller schools, their trustees have the autonomy to choose providers without much bureaucracy, and these solar projects are typically kind of one-off projects. At public schools, which are organized into districts with really a distribution of school sizes that are all bundled together, the decision makers have to go through the public procurement process and issue a request for proposals. And you can additionally segment both public and private schools by the students that they serve. They can be low, high, or moderate income students. Next slide, please. So next month in Sudbury, Massachusetts, our first school installation at Aruna's place will be complete. So we have all of the money in the bank, all of our solar rebates approved, and all the contracts signed. And most importantly, this pilot installation enabled us to develop really an entire sales and project management process, and it's largely independent of solar project size. So we can take all of these processes, next slide, and really bring our solution to schools across the state of Massachusetts and ultimately across the nation. So we're really focusing on getting projects faster right now with private and charter schools while we start building relationships with the public school districts. Using, we have a Salesforce mapping solution. We focus our sales and marketing efforts on schools that, one, are within 25 miles of our Boston office, and two, that already have a demonstrated interest in sustainability. So in the past few months, really since July, by leveraging our network to connect with the schools, we've reached out to 50 entire school districts and individual schools, and 7 of the schools that have responded are now in a project pipeline of almost 6 megawatts of solar power. So today, next slide, these are 3 of our questions and challenges to Sramana and an entire 1 million by 1 million network. First is really, how do we raise sufficient startup capital as a non-traditional nonprofit to go out and win the U.S. solar schools market, much like a venture-backed for-profit would? And second, how can we quickly build our qualifications and track record to be more competitive in the publicly bid school district projects, or even find a way to go around this process? And third, it's just if anyone knows investors already investing in solar, we're familiar with the structures. And second, anyone who's interested in making these types of investments. And of course, any feedback you can provide and any questions you have, I'd be happy to answer. And the next slide has my contact information. Thank you so much.
So, Soren, before you go on, how are you financing currently? How is the business financed currently?
Right. So our first installation was financed by donations. So we raised entirely through donations. The model is actually driven off of tax, a certain type of investment. And the investors are called tax equity investors. They put equity into projects and they get tax benefits and cash back out. We are currently funded. I started the company during grad school, and I'm doing. I've basically a good engineering contract, so I'm putting money back in to cover our office space and our operations manager's salary. So I've self-funded it to here just to kind of get it to where it is.
And to get the donations, did you have to incorporate the company as a nonprofit?
Yeah, sorry. So we're a 501c3. We have our tax-exempt status. And all of that. So we got that a year and a half.
So are you building a nonprofit? Is this a nonprofit company?
It is a nonprofit that is used in a for-profit model. So you can imagine we're building it just like a for-profit business. It would, take away the 501c3, we would be a profitable business. But we're taking that and doing that as a nonprofit as a way to put money back into the schools and to make us a self-sustaining nonprofit. So in principle,
well, there are lots of implications of that choice, because none of the traditional business money is going to go into a nonprofit. People don't invest, investors do not invest, institutional investors do not invest in nonprofits. Right.
So there's two really, the way our model works, and there's some corporate structuring behind the scenes. Imagine you take the for-profit solar model, it's already proven in the marketplace, driving the growth in solar, and put that under the hood of the nonprofit. So there's really two pieces of funding that come in. One is philanthropy, so donations, grants, and low-interest loans and that sort of stuff comes into the nonprofit. And then the wholly owned for-profit subsidiary, that's where you have the traditional investment that comes in for the solar projects. And you think of project finance coming in just like it would in a for-profit, exactly as it would, and then philanthropy coming into the nonprofit. And what we are doing is essentially connecting those two in a sense, so that you get the best of nonprofit impact, but you're building it exactly like it's a for-profit. But you're absolutely right about, we can't take angel money or VC money. There's no equity. There's no, like you're saying, the traditional funding mechanisms aren't there, which is part of our challenge. Is we,
So, Soren, I'll be very upfront. We don't work with nonprofits. That's not where our expertise is. I can give you some suggestions. Like Google, for instance, is very focused on clean energy and so forth, and you could contact Google Foundation to see if they would fund your project as a nonprofit, as a charity project. But this is not our area. We really don't spend any energy on nonprofits.
Is that? I think about it in terms of, is it a business based on paying customers versus a charity? And we're definitely not a charity based on...
Doesn't matter, but if the moment you set it up as a nonprofit structure, all the commercial financial sources get closed for you. And frankly, since I don't spend any time doing nonprofit fundraising and all that, this is not an area where we have any resources at all.
Mm-hmm. Even on the traditional project finance side, which is completely open to traditional funding sources. It's the same. Any for-profit would go to the same, going to the same banks and investors that we are.
So you are in multiple ways outside of our sweet spot. We don't do nonprofits. We don't do clean tech. We don't do large capital-intensive projects. So you are not really a fit for us in 1 million by 1 million.
Okay. Is there anyone you can think of that we should connect with, that would be a good fit for this, or anyone that is passionate about this stuff?
I know lots of people who are passionate about it, but I will tell you more about the 1 million by 1 million program in a minute, and you will find out how we work with people. So we are not in the business of, unless you are a 1 million by 1 million premium member, we don't go about introducing people, because there's a lot of due diligence involved and a lot of homework involved in actually preparing someone for investor conversations and so forth. And we don't make these introductions without that due diligence.
Mm-hmm. Is that something that 1 million by 1 million can, despite, like you're saying, the fit isn't there, is that something that's still a possibility, or is it really just there's no fit and we shouldn't even bother with a premium membership?
Well, it depends on, in premium membership, we teach how to build a business. And I'm being very upfront with you. A lot of the assumptions of 1 million by 1 million are not going to be that relevant to you. On the other hand, if you're trying to learn business, we do have a lot of technical founders who are trying to learn the basics. They're getting a crash course on entrepreneurship, MBA sort of. That's something 1 million by 1 million can provide you, because I do see there are a lot of gaps in your analysis of the business. Like, for instance, one of the things, if I were looking at this as an investment in a company as an institutional investor, I would look for some way of assessing your total available market from a bottom-up analysis point of view. I don't even know if you know what that means or how to put that together.
Right.
So stuff like that, and so I'm very hesitant to recommend that you join 1 million by. Why don't you listen to what we at the next segment, and you can ask questions after we are done with this segment. How's that?
Sure, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. So that the help we are looking for from you in the audience is, we are looking for serious entrepreneurs who have the mettle to build companies, because entrepreneurship, as I keep saying, entrepreneurship is not for sissies. All the people who are trying to build companies will tell you it's a lot of work. It takes a tremendous amount of commitment. It takes a tremendous amount of resilience to work through the process of building a business. And uh, the one thing we are looking for from all of you is help with getting the word around that this resource, the 1 million by 1 million resource, exists, and it's available for a relatively small amount of money, and it's available to everybody. So let's go through what 1 million by 1 million is, and a lot of you have not been exposed to 1 million by 1 million yet. So let's talk through that. So the mission is to help $1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and beyond, build $1 trillion in global GDP, and 10 million jobs. And the website is 1m1m.sramanamitra.com. Our absolute base level resource is the blog. That's at sramanamitra.com. And we have tons of case studies and articles and material there that are completely focused on helping entrepreneurs, especially technology entrepreneurs, become successful. In addition, we have the Entrepreneur Journeys book series, which is a collection mostly written as case studies. And these books contain a dozen to 16 case studies per volume, and they focus on various different aspects of building an entrepreneurial venture. So the first volume has a dozen case studies. The second volume focuses on bootstrapping, which is one of the cornerstone philosophies of 1 million by 1 million, which is why I keep saying, and this is, by the way, this is not because I think it's important. Bootstrapping is important because that's where we are in business today. 99% of the companies who go out to seek financing get rejected by investors. And that does not mean that these companies cannot build businesses. It just means that these companies do not fit the framework of institutional financing. Institutional financing has certain parameters. And the reason it is important to learn bootstrapping is because if you do not fit the framework of institutional financing, you still can build a business, but it has to be in the bootstrap model. The other reason why a lot of companies get rejected is because they're not far enough along. They haven't done any of the early validation steps to be even considered for financing, and that is critical today. Nobody is going to fund an idea. And this is why I was so hard on Michael. If you think that Michael wants to raise $100,000 without proving anything, without this kind of, painting the sky red kind of concept, no investor is going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. And I'm saying this because this is the norm. This is what's happening in the market. So I don't want Michael to go out there and beat on the doors and get rejected over and over and over and over again. So Michael essentially is talking about helping entrepreneurs not going through that experience. Well, he is going to go through that experience himself unless he's able to clarify what is it that he's trying to do. So that brings us to the topic of positioning. Positioning is very, very poorly understood amongst early stage entrepreneurs, especially first-time entrepreneurs. As a matter of fact, positioning is very poorly understood, period. I have done 10 years of consulting, and the discipline in which I made the maximum money is in positioning. And companies with $100 million, $1 billion, they all have difficulty with positioning. And that is a topic that we deal extensively in. There is a volume of the Entrepreneur Journey series on the topic, and we deal with this topic extensively in 1 million by 1 million premium. And that is something that we will always encourage you to pay attention to, because you can only bootstrap a company if you get your positioning right in a laser sharp way. We have this mantra, do not spray and pray. What does that mean? That means if you try to go out and try to paint the sky red, you're not going to be successful. You have to identify one very specific pain and tailor a solution, come up with a solution that is going to solve that pain, and that is the only way you can possibly bootstrap a company. The next topic that we deal with is innovation need of the hour. I assume that there is no disagreement with the topic that there is a tremendous need for innovation today. One of the reasons the world is mourning and showering so much love and tribute to Steve Jobs is because he has made the last, his entire career, 26 years of his career, but especially in the last 5 years, he has made technology incredibly exciting. We have seen amazing innovation coming out of the Apple camp. We've seen amazing innovation come out of many other camps. Amazon is innovating really powerfully. Google, Facebook, these are all great innovation stories. And as a result, the technology industry actually is booming right now. Yes, there's a recession elsewhere, but technology industry is completely booming. Silicon Valley is completely booming. And that is what we need across the board, all over the world. Innovation is going to make a huge difference. At the same time, there are bottlenecks to innovation right now. And this is a volume where we treat those topics. Now, the books are available on Amazon and Kindle internationally in all different geographies. Amazon ships internationally. Kindle actually is right now available in not only the US, but UK has a Kindle store, Germany has a Kindle store, France has a Kindle store. And in India, you can order the books through Flipkart. As I said, the blog is at sramanamitra.com. And then the other free resource we have are these strategy roundtables that are always free. Anybody can come and discuss your business with me and get input. And as you can see, I don't sugarcoat my input. I will tell you as it is, and that is the way it should be, because you will get nothing out of these sessions if I try to tell you what you want to hear. If I tell you, oh, what you're doing is great, you should not even bother spending 5 minutes with me, because it's a wastage of your time. So we've been doing these roundtables for a long time. We've helped a lot of entrepreneurs, modulate and shift and change course through these roundtables and, zone in, position better, and so forth. So we have a lot of experience in what is going on in the early stage startup process and where are the common mistakes, what are the common questions, and so on and so forth. And through that, we have now created the 1 million by 1 million premium program, which launched at the end of last year. And that program has an extensive methodology and framework. So as long as you're working in the domain of information technology, which includes outsourcing, technology-enabled services, all the internet businesses, healthcare IT, online education, mobile apps, all of that falls within the domain of 1 million by 1 million, the methodology and the framework. And it's very focused on lean, capital-efficient, bootstrap startups, where we don't do very well. And this is why I was reluctant to encourage Soren to come into the program, is that if you have huge capital needs, we don't really tackle that. And that is a very, very difficult problem to solve. And as a result, we can't really do projects that are about drug discovery, for instance, because that costs 50, 60, $100 million. And that doesn't fit into our framework. And if you need to put solar panels on top of 100,000 schools, that is going to cost capital, and on top of that, Soren has the other problem that it's a nonprofit, so we don't do nonprofits either, so it's not a great fit. We have a very good curriculum. This is probably the most powerful curriculum out there in terms of early stage entrepreneurship, and I'll tell you more about that in a moment. We also do a lot of business development. We connect a lot of dots for our entrepreneurs to customers, to channel partners, to investors, to media, to analysts. Wherever we can connect dots for you, we will connect dots. And we do extensive strategy consulting, the same kinds of strategy consulting that we do here in the public roundtables. We have members only premium versions of it, private versions of it. So that's what you get for $1,000 annual membership fee. The 1 million by 1m1m.sramanamitra.com page has all the resources and the information about the premium program, one of the things I'll point you to, as soon as you join the premium program, I would like you to go through the 1M self-assessment. And that's about a 9-point self-assessment, and it includes curriculum modules. So for example, if you don't know how to do bottom-up TAM analysis, we have the curriculum included in that program, because in that self-assessment, we would want you to do bottom-up TAM analysis. We would want you to understand the positioning point. We would want you to do the competitive positioning the way we believe you should be doing it. So on any of these topics, if you have gaps, you can go through the program, understand the curriculum, and get yourself up to speed on those topics. And that's something, as soon as you join the premium program, I would say do it as soon as possible. Maybe the following weekend you spend on the self-assessment module of the curriculum, and that will get you significantly far along in your journey. And I can say that with confidence because we're seeing this in action. In addition, I would say you want to look at on the top right corner, you have a couple of buttons, premium program and FAQ. I would like you to look at those as you're trying to decide whether you want to join the premium program or not. And you have a whole page of what to expect from the premium program, as well as an FAQ that will answer a bunch of your questions. I want to reiterate and keep reiterating this on an ongoing basis. Our methodology is lean, capital efficient, bootstrap startups. And the reason being, most companies do not qualify for institutional financing. You're going to have to bootstrap your company. And then the other piece of this equation is that the less than 1% that actually fits the institutional financing model will still need to bootstrap to a validated business before any investor would touch you. So no matter which way you look, you're going to have to learn this methodology. So we want to preempt your failures and your rejections and so forth, and have you work on this methodology and practice this methodology as much as possible. And what we are seeing, which is very, very encouraging and very rewarding, is that because we are equipping you with the knowledge of how to do this right, our premium members are closing fantastic customers. The whole focus is on customers. And by the way, when you get paying customers, that comes in as revenue. And when you have revenue, that increases your valuation. And when you go out to raise financing, if you qualify, if you have enough TAM, if you have enough growth rates, if you do qualify for financing, and if you have revenues, your valuation is better, the terms are better, your ownership structure is better. So we are trying to basically equip you to execute and be successful in almost a textbook manner. So the framework is very powerful, the methodology is very powerful, it is entirely optimized to play in your favor as an entrepreneur. We don't play in favor of investors, we don't play in favor of incubators, we don't play in favor of angels, we play in favor of, or we go to bat on your behalf, on the entrepreneur's behalf. Yes, we work with investors, yes, we work with other, lots of physical incubators, different types of incubators who supplement their resources with our resources. But really, our focus is on making you successful, you as the entrepreneur. So a bit more about the curriculum. The core curriculum consists of 7 different modules. We have a bootstrapping module, we have a positioning module, we have market sizing, customer validation, financing and customer acquisition, and then team building. And each of these modules, again, are optimized for bootstrapping. For instance, team building. One of our premium members just suddenly started getting a lot of traction in the market with the product that they were testing and validating, and the validation was working, and they were getting lots of traction with customers. And he came and asked, so should I just go out and hire lots of people? And I said, no, don't hire lots of people and create a big burn rate. Start using freelancers until you get a hang of the process, and until you get a sense that this business is going to continue to come. And gradually you can hire people, and you should never hire a lot of people and increase your burn rate when you're bootstrapping, because bootstrapping is basically on your own money, and you want to keep your burn rate, the monthly burn rate, relatively low. So all these topics that we deal with in very nifty ways will give you lots of ways in which you can optimize, you can do things inexpensively, and so on and so forth. Now, on the elective side, we have elective modules that are geared towards specific topics, and these are mostly trends in the industry. Web 3.0 and e-commerce is a big trend. There are going to be 5 billion people on the internet by 2020. And the whole internet business, whether it's e-commerce, other kinds of online businesses, is a massive opportunity. It will continue to be a massive opportunity for this decade, and it's an international global opportunity. We see tons of businesses in that area. Cloud computing and business solutions is another one that we are seeing a lot of activity in. Outsourcing and consulting will continue to be an area where entrepreneurs build businesses. Mobile and social apps, healthcare, IT, online education, these are all trends, and we have elective modules aligned with those trends. Where gaming is another one, another big one. Where we don't yet have anything yet are in clean tech, semiconductor and EDA systems, which are capital intensive areas, and we don't really have that yet, at least. Now, as far as the curriculum is concerned, we have video lectures and case studies. So the video lectures are synthesis of the methodology and the framework of 1 million by 1 million. Now, this methodology, this framework, has been designed based on 6 years of case study development with successful entrepreneurs who've shared their successes, their failures, their strategies that have worked, strategies that have failed. And it's a very, very comprehensive, very in-depth program, and we make all those case studies available to you in a synthesized format. It's an incredibly powerful program. As I said, we do a lot of business development. We have 1 million by 1 million companies that are going to market through partners we have in the industry. Persistent, this is a press coverage on a particular deal that we did with Persistent Systems. That's a 100 million plus company, and a couple of our 1 million by 1 million companies are going to market through this channel. We also do a lot of media work. So this is one of our companies that is plugging, it's called Orenscape. They're plugging a gap in Google's enterprise app and app engine product. And so this is an article that they got on Read Write Web, which gave them a lot of visibility. So we basically, as I said, we connect all possible dots for you. Now, here's a Facebook message that as an entrepreneur wrote me on my Facebook page. And he came here into this free roundtable and he pitched. And I analyzed his business and I gave him feedback. And he said, I have to say, I really wish that 1 million by 1 million existed about 3-4 years ago, and I had raised a ton of angel money. But now I've run through all that angel money by doing things in the wrong order. And now listening to you, I realize the mistakes I've made. So my point, the lesson, the moral of that story is that even if you have raised small amounts of angel money, come and join the program and follow the methodology. Even if you have a small amount of angel money, you are still bootstrapping, because you're going to have to hit the milestones which will qualify you for further rounds of financing. And if you exhaust the angel money that you have raised by doing things out of order and out of turn, and you don't reach your milestones within that pool of cash, you are going to go out of business. And I've seen this movie many times before. As I said, we work with a lot of incubators. Now, let me ask you a question, actually, if you can answer in the group chat. I spoke at a conference at the National Seed and Venture Capital Association conference yesterday morning, and in a session about incubators. And I know there were a lot of people who signed up to join today's roundtable from that talk, from that program, the conference. Are there people from the conference, from incubators, who are here in the session today? If you are, I would love to talk to you some more. We have a bit of time for Q&A, but I just want to reinforce that we do work collaboratively with lots of incubators. MAD Incubator on your screen in Malaysia is one of our partners, and we are at the moment working with MAD on nurturing the entire Malaysian entrepreneur ecosystem. And it's, our agenda and the agenda of the incubators is exactly the same, is to promote entrepreneurship. We provide, you could say we provide a virtual incubator that can be layered onto and supplemented onto the services of any physical incubator. So you are an incubator in Malaysia, and you have the physical resources, and you have people working together, entrepreneurs working together, and so on and so forth. You're doing events and blah, blah, blah. We can basically be your partners and help you enhance your resources, give you a tie-in into Silicon Valley, and also teach you this methodology, make the curriculum available to your entrepreneurs, and the strategy consulting, the channel partnerships, all the virtual incubation resources that we are providing. We can make all that available to all your, all your community. In fact, most incubators tend to work with only a handful of entrepreneurs because they have limited resources, physical resources, funding resources, other services. All this is mentors. All this is limited resources. Our program is entirely scalable because there's a huge self-service part of it. The curriculum is entirely self-service. And that allows you to basically nurture your entire community of entrepreneurs. So, for instance, in Malaysia, we're looking at nurturing a community of about 3,500 entrepreneurs. MAD is capable of actively nurturing a much smaller number of entrepreneurs, but paired with 1 million by 1 million, we can nurture 3,500 entrepreneurs. We can nurture 35,000 entrepreneurs, if you will. So, so wherever you are, we are working in Maine. Well, Maine is, Maine is trying to do statewide entrepreneurship development, and again, supplementing local resources with 1 million by 1 million resources is a very good scalable way of doing entrepreneurship development. And that is one of the reasons why we like to work with incubators so much. We do have an affiliate program. So whether you're an incubator or a blogger or a tech or a business or an entrepreneurship media site or any kind of entrepreneurship development organization, and you're looking to monetize your user base, we offer an affiliate partnership model where we offer 10% of the $1,000 annual membership fee to every partner who brings in premium members. So you could even create a business model around a different business model around your community that is aligned with what you're trying to achieve. And we are very interested in more affiliate partners. Our upcoming free roundtables, this kind of roundtables, are October 27th, November 3rd, November 10th, and November 17th. And you're very welcome to come and share your business ideas with me or business strategies with me, and I will help you work through and give you pointers on how to move forward. One final point is about Vision India 2020, which is one of my books, and that's a book that we haven't talked about so far. It basically, if you're interested in India or if you're interested in development economics, any emerging market, actually, the ideas would apply. It basically has $45 billion business ideas. And it's written as if we are sitting in 2020 having built these businesses. So in that sense, it's a futuristic retrospective. I basically chose to publish these business ideas because I'm working on 1 million by 1 million. I would not have time to work on additional business ideas. And these are really good ideas using which you could build sizable businesses. And we even have a module in 1 million by 1 million to help you with that. So please feel free to read the book. or join the program and work with one of the ideas within the program. And we do have entrepreneurs doing that. These are ideas for you to take and run with. And I want to thank also our partners. Read Write Web has been a fabulous media partner for a long time, for 3 years probably. Microsoft BizSpark is a partner that we work with often. The MIT Club of Northern California is my alumni association, and the Association of MIT Alumni as well. We work with Startup America Partnership. We work with various angel associations and angel groups all around the world. Actually, Indian Angel Network is just an example. We work with multiple Thai chapters all over the place. Persistent Systems is a channel partner of ours. MAD is an incubator partner, and there are actually many other partners. And of course, VView, this experience, this technology experience that you're seeing today is from VView. And VView, by the way, just got acquired by Polycom just a few days ago. So congratulations to the VView team for a successful exit. And it's wonderful to see a good team of entrepreneurs succeed. I've been in touch with them for right from the beginning, right from when they started. So it's very, very nice to see that it's a successful entrepreneurial venture that emerged out of the VView technology. We love the technology, and we will continue to use it, I believe. So my public chat is open. If you want to ask questions in the public chat, you're most welcome to do that. And we do have some time for a discussion today, actually, which normally we're always rushing to finish the session on time. Hi, Nirupama. Soren is asking, how does 1M scale up, especially Sramana's time? What is the plan for engaging entrepreneurs globally and providing the premium membership value? So Soren, we are already a global program. We have entrepreneurs from everywhere in the world. We have, if you listen to the 100th Roundtable recording, you will see we actually showed a world map. We kind of jumped from one part of the world to another. We have in fact, India is our second biggest geography outside of the United States. And we are all over the United States. We are in Europe, we are in Singapore. We are also starting to see activity in Latin America. So we are already global, and that's a proven model that it's working globally. We are completely virtual for that reason, because we want to be completely global. And in terms of scaling up, the curriculum has been developed with scaling in mind. So every time you ask me a question, I will most likely be pointing you to a curriculum module, relevant curriculum module, that discusses that particular issue, because we have been working with hundreds of entrepreneurs and their issues and their problems on a regular basis for over 3 years. We know what kinds of questions come up, and that's how we've designed the modules. So yes, there is my time that's in this kind of consulting sessions, but you also get a tremendous amount of value out of the curriculum modules that we have put together and that we will continue to put together. And eventually, when we get to that point, we will have a module, a full-blown module on clean tech and solar ventures, energy ventures, all of that, but we're not there yet.
That's great.
Nirupama is saying, I would like to know your opinion and thoughts on another B2C idea that I've already implemented. Okay. You should come and pitch. It's hard for me to, if you give me a one line in the group chat about your idea, it's very difficult for me to react to that. I suggest you put a pitch together and come and pitch the idea, and I will give you full 12, 10, 15 minutes of analysis on the idea. Ralph is saying, what are approaches to engage potential customers/clients so they see, experience the value of the innovation which the entrepreneurial startup normally is? Oh, there are lots of approaches, and we have a full module on validation methodology in the 1 million by 1 million premium program. So that's something that you're trying to work on, you're most welcome to join the program, and that's something we tackle from every angle possible. Ralph, if you're working for 3 years and you don't have a first customer yet, this is a problem, because our methodology gets you to customer validation as soon as possible. So I strongly encourage you join the premium program and start following the methodology, because otherwise I think you have wasted a lot of time. Julia's asking, how does one sign up to pitch? You go to the 1M1M website, 1m1m.sramanamitra.com, and there's on the right navigation bar, you see free public roundtables, and you'll find all the signing up information right there. Soren, yes, we have actually lots of CleanTech case studies. I just haven't had the time yet to work on putting the modules together. By the way, the case studies that we use are typically $5 million or above in revenues. Very often they're $10 million or above in revenue. So for you to get to $5 million in revenue is going to still be a while before you qualify to become a case study for 1 million by 1 million premium. Eric says, how to change the mindset of traditional CEOs in the property and construction industry in Malaysia who are hesitant to adopt new cloud computing. I need to look at your business. So all of you who are asking me for specific feedback on specific businesses, please come and pitch. I just showed you, we have roundtables coming up every Thursday for the next 4 Thursdays. That's 20 slots, 20 pitch slots. Go ahead and sign up right away so that we can accommodate you and you can come and share your business with us, and I'll be very happy to work with you. Anybody else? Any other question? Soren is asking, can you provide some specifics on how the premium pitch sessions differ from the free ones? Well, the premium pitch sessions are much more sophisticated and in-depth, because by the time you come to pitch at a premium pitch session, you have gone through a significant amount of the curriculum. So a lot of the basic questions are already answered. You're not going to be asking me basic questions, which in the public roundtables, very often I get very basic questions. And we just saw some of that with Michael's pitch. If Michael goes through the premium program and puts the constraints around his business the way following our methodology, he may not believe in our methodology, that's a different story, but if he does want to adopt the premium program and methodology, he would be working with the curriculum, and by the time he comes to pitch, his pitch is going to be much more structured. And we will be working on higher order problems as opposed to the very basic stuff. You will hopefully, after going through the curriculum, at least to some depth, some level of the core curriculum, you're not going to come and ask me how to size your market or how to segment your market. Those are issues that you're going to have dealt with within the curriculum itself. Ralph, you're very welcome to pitch as fast as possible. I look forward to hearing from you. Jamal says, have you done any more thinking about group funding, crowdfunding with entrepreneurs becoming small investors on the startups? There's a lot of group funding and crowdfunding businesses out there. There's tons of crowdfunding startups. That's not what we are going to do. That's not part of our business model. But there are tons of crowdfunding startups out there. Julia, you're asking, do you have any other tips for pitching other than what is here? No, I think there is another thing. If you actually look there is a clarify your story framework, which is a lot of questions, which is basically a series of questions that we recommend you answer. In fact, long before I designed the premium program, I used to circulate this clarify your story questionnaire framework for free. And it is actually the appendix of the volume 3 of Entrepreneur Journeys, the positioning book. And then we kept getting feedback from the entrepreneurs that clarify your story is really hard. So then I realized that, okay, Clarify story is really hard, that means people need guidance on how to work on the different questions of clarify your story. And that essentially became the 1 million by 1 million premium curriculum with a lot more sophistication because we've had time to think about it and design it more carefully. So if you're struggling with clarify your story, which you most likely will, again, the best step for you would be to go through the premium curriculum. Any other questions? Soren says, do you have any plans to engage student entrepreneurs, high school and college? I could see an interesting way to promote 1 million by 1 million with our partner schools and provide entrepreneurship training. I've worked with TIE's TYE program for HS students, and it was a great, yes. So, the beauty of our program is actually anybody can use it. And we are completely geared, completely set up to offer to high school students and college students. And I think in due course that is going to happen. One of my ideas is actually to work with the community colleges and have the community colleges adopt the 1 million by 1 million premium program as well as part of their offering. And of course, there are business model issues and all that we need to sort through. So we're not quite there yet. But yes, I'm actually speaking at a high school this Saturday on entrepreneurship, and it's a TEDx conference at the Harker School in San Jose. So eventually we will get to that as well, but we have to work our way, through the different layers of segmentation. Just like we practice what we preach. We preach segmentation to you, and we practice segmentation ourselves. We've segmented our market, and where we are entering the market is in a different segment than high schools and colleges right now. Yes, it is designed with scalability in mind, Soren. And I'm a computer scientist with a background in parallel and distributed computing. That was my graduate work, actually undergraduate thesis as well at MIT. I worked on the Alewife system, which is a massively parallel computer. So I have this thinking, the scalability thinking, deeply ingrained in me, and a lot of what has come to become the 1 million by 1 million premium is based on that thinking about scalable computing and scalable system design. Thank you. Anybody else? Any other thoughts, comments, questions, ideas? No? So if not, then we will wrap up today's session and we will see you next week. And for the premium members who are in today's session, we will see you at the next premium private roundtable. Thank you, Jamal. We appreciate it very much. We appreciate the support. And remember what I said, we need help from you. We need help and to get the word around and to find serious entrepreneurs who have the resilience to to practice the 1 million by 1 million methodology and deliver, $1 million plus companies. So please help us. I say this with complete humility that we need your help. All right. Looks like we're ready to wrap up today's session. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for coming, and we will see you shortly.